Hi, Kelly Eckholt here to give you an update on the key events of the week. This is coming live from our Wellington offices. I've been down here for a couple of days talking to clients. So it's been pretty quiet on the domestic economic front, even though there's been plenty of political news this week. We did get some interesting data on the construction market, and it looks like in the second quarter of the year we poured a decent amount of concrete over that June quarter, probably about 3.5% or so extra, and that means that coming after a stronger couple of quarters before that, it's basically about 12% off the lows that we saw late last year. That indicates that that big rise in building consents that we've been noticing for about 9 months or so is starting to translate through into increased building activities, which is supportive for GDP, and that in turn reflects the lower interest rate environment that we've seen since about 2024. On the housing market, we got some less positive news. Housing prices were generally flat for the month of July, down 0.4% for the year. And that reflected that houses are taking about 47 days to sell nationally, which is a relatively long period. It's not really consistent with significant rises in house prices this year, as we are currently forecasting. The highlight for housing market nationally was down in Otago, where house prices rose to a new historic high. That reflects the ongoing trend we've seen in the South Island centres, where the housing markets have been noticeably stronger than in the larger urban centres. Internationally, we have seen a bit of news from the Reserve Bank of Australia where they came out with their monetary policy report. It was dovish on one hand because they revised down their inflation forecasts a bit and they revised up their unemployment rate forecasts a bit. But the underlying message they're really selling here is one where interest rates are staying at around about where they are, at about 4.35%, or possibly higher if all things don't go right. We're just going to have to watch the space to see how that Australian economy responds. I'll be back to update you again next week.